Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a carrot wreath all from Dollar Tree materials. Yes, everything on this wreath is from the Dollar Tree. So it's a cute DIY and it's also really inexpensive. So for the base of my wreath, I'm using one of the metal trellis you can buy at the Dollar Tree right now. I'm cutting it down to kind of more of a carrot shape. This is an awesome hack though because it allows you to have the carrot form without having to have a special wreath form. So next I'm going to attach the greenery. I'm attaching the greenery with zip ties. I feel like zip ties are a little bit easier to use and manipulate when doing something like this. You can also use wire if you have florist wire or small gauge wire hanging around. Next, I'm going to attach the flowers. I have some coral orange peonies and some hydrangeas from the Dollar Tree. I saw these. I just could not get over the color and how awesome and springy they were. I'm attaching these with zip ties, just like I said. I'm alternating the types of flowers. You could definitely do any type of flower you wanted as long as it's in that coral orange family. I just thought these were really nice and full. Some people do it with tulips, which would also look really awesome, but my Dollar Tree didn't have any of these coral tulips, so hydrangeas and peonies it is. So right now I'm just zip tying on the first layer. Basically I'll have 4 flowers alternating the types. I'm just kind of checking how everything looks right now. I have a hydrangea and a peony first, and I'm just going to add the other 2 to the top. Make sure that the zip ties are nice and tight so that everything will stay really secure. We'll go back and cut off all of the stems later, so you can just leave those for right now. To cut the stems, you will need a wire cutter. There is wire inside those faux flower stems, so just keep that in mind. All right, I've almost got the top layer done here, making sure everything's nice and tight and secure. There we go, first layer done. So now I'll work my way through the second layer, basically alternating the flowers again, making sure everything's nice and tight and fluffed out. You want 1 to 2 less flowers than used on the top row to give you a nice triangle carrot shape. All right, almost done. Like I said, make sure everything is nice and tight. You want all those flowers to stay in, and you want your main way to attach them to be around one of the wires on the form that we cut. All right, so now I'm just trimming the stems with the wire cutter, like I said, making sure everything, this is the back of the wreath, making sure the back looks nice. And now we'll start in on the next layer after I tighten the zip ties again. Now we're working on the third layer, just alternating again, working our way down just to get that nice carrot triangle kind of shape. You can see that I've kind of pulled the greens down to the base of the flowers. You could take the greens off, but I feel like it gives it kind of a fullness and kind of helps fill out the wreath, and those will barely even be noticeable at the end. So I just pull them down to the stem, and that also makes it easier to just attach everything as a bunch if you don't have to take the flowers off first. All right, just working on the next to last layer. All right, and now to the last layer. I picked some of these awesome peonies for the bottom. I thought it made the shape look really nice. So peonies for the last layer, we're just zip tying it to the wire form, just like we have with every other layer. Towards the end, it gets a little tricky. There are a lot of flowers, but you can usually just feed the end of your zip ties through and you'll be golden. I'm just cleaning up the zip ties. I'm using the wire cutters to cut the zip ties. That works out fine. And there you can see we have a nice carrot shape. So the next step is to kind of take some of your other flowers, leftover flowers, and fill in some of the more bare spots or open spots. So here I'm just cutting some of the hydrangea picks and putting them in with zip ties wherever it may need just a little bit more fullness, or you could see the wire form. All right, just cleaning everything up. Got all my open spots filled in. All right, it looks like a carrot to me. All right, then I made a quick bow with Dollar Tree ribbon, the burlap spotted ribbon. I love it, it's so springy. I attached that with zip ties as well. You could always buy a pre-made bow for this, but the bow kind of hides the mechanics of the wreath. So it kind of ties everything together and makes it look like a nice bunch of carrot greens at the top that are tied together. And I'm just attaching it with zip ties, making sure everything's nice and tight. The bow also helps the top greenery stay upright. It's a little top heavy with just the greenery, so the bow keeps everything in place, looks nice and springy and awesome. And then just trim off the ends. There you go. And so next we're going to give the greens a little bit of a haircut. I like to cut them a little bit uneven to make them look more like carrot greens. There you go. That's your DIY Dollar Tree carrot wreath. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.